My brothers and sisters, when you look at the chosen people, the children of Israel, from a historical perspective, it's hard to believe that they were able to survive for as long as they did. They were a very small nation of people. They had two great monarchs, David and his son Solomon. They were important to that part of the world, what we call the Middle East today, for maybe about 120 years. And during the rest of their history, they were either in slavery or becoming a people or conquered by various nations around them, Assyria and Babylonia and Greece and Rome. How did they make it? The Roman Empire actually destroyed their capital, Jerusalem, around 70 AD, and they had to go and live in diaspora, live in other countries. Well, they made it because they adhered to the law of Moses. While they were still in the desert, while they were trying to escape from Egypt, God spoke to Moses and gave Moses some commandments that he knew would be necessary in order for his chosen people to become a people. And were the way they formed into what we came to know as the people of the law. They became who they were because of the law. So the law was really, really important to them. And by adhering to the law, they were able to withstand the Assyrians and the Babylonians and the Greeks and the Romans. But the downside was that they became so attached to the law that many of them forgot the meaning behind the laws that they had. In other words, the laws became important in and of themselves, but rather than seeing the laws as a means to a deeper relationship with God and each other. The laws became so important to them that by the time Jesus was born, they had grown to 613 laws. When we think of the 10 commandments, there were actually 613 commandments. I would guess that there might be some here who cannot name the 10 commandments. I won't ask you to do that. Okay, yeah, everybody's looking away, huh? I won't ask you to name those 10 commandments. Don't worry, Kevin, I'm not gonna call on you, man. Okay. But imagine having to memorize 613, Carter, 613 commandments, man. That would be a little tough. So they got so caught up in the laws that they lost sight of what the laws of God were supposed to lead them towards. So Jesus came and said, let me give you a way of reinterpreting the law. Let me give you a different way of looking at it. Let me give you a different way of responding to it. It's not that are important, but the meaning behind these commandments. That's what's important. So he said to them, if the law leads you to God, if the law leads you into a deeper relationship with your brothers and sisters, then the law is good. If it doesn't, it's a distraction. And then he told them, let me make it easy for you. Let's reduce it to this. Love God with your whole heart, your whole soul, your entire being, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you hold on to this great law, then you will be keeping all the commandments, the law of love. So how do we do that? Do we just disregard all the other laws that are part of tradition? No. But we look at everything through the eyes of the law of love. Kevin and Natalie are presenting their second child here this morning to have them baptized. And what they're saying by their presence here is that they want our young Owen, what's Owen's older brother's name? That they want Richard and Owen to live their lives following the law of God, the law of love, so that when they encounter other people, who might be very different than them, they're very different in the values you are going to raise your sons with, that to the best of their ability, they'll try to love those other people. They'll try not to judge them. They'll try to be accepting of them. They'll try to look at them and react to them as Jesus would have them look at and react to others. This is an important decision you're making. You're saying that you want your sons to follow Jesus Christ and to follow his law. And we live in a world that's quite dangerous. There's a risk to doing it the way Jesus invites us to do it. The risk is that others might take advantage of Richard, might take advantage of Owen. Others who don't respect what you're trying to do with your sons could actually take advantage of them. But we are here to say to you that we think you're making the right decision. We support you in your desire to raise your sons following the law of Christ, which is the law of love. And all the risks that you take in the name of that law, while it might seem foolish to this world, it's really wise ultimately, because that's where your sons are going to find their fulfillment in love. That law is the law that will sustain them throughout their lives. Amen.